Hey, what's going on? It's another player profile and projection here at Talkin Yanks. We got Luis Severino in his last year before free agency, I believe, because they locked him up. They opted in to keep him around. Sevy, Jake.
Our guy.
In the 4 slot right now? Not that that really matters besides the 1 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he could still have an argument with Nestor. Let's see how Rodon looks in the Bronx. But
I think up front, I'll say me and you aren't on the same page with Severino this year, I think, because you're way higher on him than me.
We'll find out. That's what the PPPs are about. Luis Severino, you probably remember him from 2015 now. A young 21-year-old Luis Severino making his debut for the Yankees. And these PPPs are presented to you by SeatGeek. Code Yanks, $20 off your first order with SeatGeek. And now going into 2023. Last year, his first chunk of a season since 2018. Crazy. 19 starts, a 3.18 ERA, and 102 innings pitched. More strikeouts than innings pitched. And yeah, he had the kind of that mid to late season injury. They put him on the 60-day IL. We had the hilarious image of Sevy getting told his rehab schedule and absolutely hating it because he
going
felt
to a
he
calendar
didn't need it.
and then throwing the calendar.
So that was fun. And then what did he end up doing in the offs last year? He start against Cleveland, 5.23 earned runs. Start against Houston, 5.13 earned runs. So Sevy.
Severino, yeah. He hasn't pitched a lot lately. And it's a contract year. And his stuff was nasty when he was out there, and I love his mound presence. And I like him in the dugout. Yeah, the changeup was much better. The slider usage went down, so it was like a different repertoire. My hang-up is how the Yankees handle him innings-wise. It seems like there's no way they let him just go. Unless
even in a contract year.
I think it depends on that or him. Like, he's going to want to pitch. But if the Yankees are thinking about having him in the playoff rotation, then we saw them give everyone Phantom IL basically down the stretch that they thought had maybe innings concerns. And he's definitely a guy that they're going to think has innings concerns. He hasn't thrown a lot of innings last 3 or 4 years now, since 2018. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Since Sevy threw the innings a starting pitcher throws. So I don't think. Now, we have been surprised. Jameson Taillon in 2021 was the big surprise for us, where it did happen. And, Sevy's gunning for that. But if they think he's going to be an impact arm in the postseason, then I'd schedule in another IL or Phantom IL or something. And then I'm interested to see if they let him go deep. He's probably going to be on a 5 innings thing. Where last year it seemed like they let him pitch out the gate. That first 2 times through the order where everyone went short, then I believe he was throwing and accruing innings. But then they IL'd him for 60 days when he didn't think he needed to. And I don't know. We don't have enough info there. But he was going like in that stretch in May, 6 innings pitched, then 7, then 6.1, then 7, then 6, then 5, then 6, then 6, then 6. And then he was done for a while. So I just don't know if we can pencil him in as consistently throughout the year starter. And I think the Yankees have to be a little careful here with innings if you want him to be who he can be in the postseason on the mound and at that potential. So I'm interested to see how they handle Severino.
Yeah, I think that's obviously the storyline with Luis Severino. And it's how much. And hey, I mean, like you said, with Jameson Taillon, without pitching for, 2 years, 3 years? They threw him out the first time for $144, next time for $177. I think you're looking for closer to that first number. And also, like you mentioned with Nestor last year, Nestor hadn't thrown a lot of innings. And they gave Nestor a timeout, and he ended up pitching 158. in 28 starts. So I think that 150 range, I don't know our over-under for Sevy. But
Nestor had always thrown. Like he said, he played winter ball all the time. He's like, the amount of innings I actually pitched every year was way higher than his MLB or minor league numbers because he always threw all year. He wasn't like coming off injury or anything like that.
Sure. So, but Sevy's been built up in the past, and he's building up now. Sevy's got 2 years of 190 plus innings under his belt. Goes back to 17 and 18, sure, but he's got the body type, and coming off some serious injuries. I mean, this is it. Like I think the Yankees, we saw them make their bet with Aaron Judge last year. For Sevy, this is it, right? Like I think they're going to let him go. It's his contract year. I think if the playoffs are coming up and the Yankees are in control, they're going to phantom him and rest him like they did with Nestor and they did with a couple other guys. But otherwise, next year's not promised with Sevy, so I don't think the Yankees will have the restrictor plate on too much. You'll want him built up for the playoffs. I mean, the biggest thing for me is performance, and that's all Sevy's done. Sevy has a career 3.39 ERA. Since 2017, he's got a 3.1. So if Sevy's out there, he's going to perform, and I think that's the part that I appreciate the most about Sevy. Like, even as he's been thrown into some odd situations, trying to make it back for the end of the season a couple times, when he's been out there, he's performed. So as long as my guy Sevy's out there, and hey, after not pitching, I say not pitching, but after pitching very little for 3 years, 102 innings is a win, especially as he builds up for what this season is.
Last year was a win. We would have signed up for that. And the difference that I would do, and if I'm the Yankees, I'd be wary of, is make that IL stint earlier so he can get like a bunch of starts before the postseason. Because we're looking at a guy who in 2019 had 3 starts and then went into the postseason.
And those weren't even really starts. Those were rehabbing.
Yeah. 4 innings, 5 innings, 3 innings. In 2021, he had no starts, 4 bullpen appearances at the end of September, and then went into the postseason. And then in 2022, he had 3 outings and then went into the postseason. So my number one ask out of Sevy, who I think is an absolute stud when he's on the mound, and I love his pitching, the skill, but also the mindset, the tenacity. Let's get like 10 starts in a row before the postseason, maybe 6. Give me one full month of cadence of pitching before the postseason, because we haven't had that since 2018.
Yeah. I've got no qualms with that, but again, that's more of a Yankee thing than a Sevy thing, right? Like a
lot of times it was him. Last
year we don't know where the line landed. It probably could have been 4 or 5. I think he had 2 or 3 minor league rehab starts. So yeah, and last year with the minor league rehab starts in the playoffs, you mentioned Nestor throwing year round. Sevy actually, he had 10 minor league innings and he had 11 playoff innings. So now we're talking 120. So that number becomes more and more respectable for a guy kind of making his first year back.
Yes.
But
I think if he goes pole to pole or with 1-2 weeker or 10 day, that would be awesome. I don't think it's likely. I do think
I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I don't know. Their pitching depth lacks right now, so they have to have a good lead and be playing well. But
I think either way, like you said, there's an argument for Sevy as the 4 starter. When you have a 4 starter who has a career 3.1 ERA in his history, that's a good spot to be. Whether injury history or not, and hopefully that's in our rear view. He really went through it. I mean, he had the real pitching injuries. He tried to come back too fast. It was ugly. It feels like, and that's where, as much as we love Sevy and that bulldog and that energy on the mound, when they told us that original 60-day IL, we kind of golf clapped because we were like, hey, from what he showed you with his rehabbing and his intensity and who he is, you kind of had to take the power out of his hand and hopefully it's built up for this season. But I mean, performance-wise, what he should be contract-wise for this season, Sevy's great.
Yeah, I don't really have too many qualms about his regular season pitching when he's healthy. I just think he's a gamer. Even his like tough games, he gets through stuff. But in the postseason, I'd like him to start shutting teams down.
Yeah,
his postseason outings, they're not great.
No.
They're not who he can be.
Yeah,
and it's like he doesn't attack the same way he does in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that 2019 where he was just grinding to get back and it was the ugliest 4-inning shutout you'll ever see. It's funny looking back at that. But yeah, he doesn't have like his postseason moments. Like Luis Severino should have a 7-inning shutout.
Yeah.
Like dominated the game. And maybe this is the year. But yeah, it's funny seeing the full story now. Like looking back at, the new young ace of the Yankees. Poops the bed in that, a lot of new Yankee fans' favorite game, that Twins wild card game, the Didi homer. And then since then, he's just been, straight scrambling. And hey, of more recently, last year's starts would be fine if you had an offense. Not great, not what he can be. And then 2019, he fought through those 4 shutout innings. And then 2019 in Houston, again, just trying to survive with everything he's got. But for who Luis Severino is on the field, what he's been through the past couple years, what last year built him up to be this year, I am excited for him.
I'm excited for when he's out there, and I am hopeful that he jumps up those innings and then is there in the postseason. Because I also wouldn't risk postseason Sevy if anything comes up. He's also a guy that doesn't tell the Yankees when he's banged up a little bit at all, which is why they shut him down and said, we're just shutting you down, because he's had injuries. He's come to spring training and not told things and not said things. So I don't know how you handle that at the Yankees. You got to like extra check in. You got to like have like a narc. That's a friend of his, like the next PvP Trevino. Like you got to like, or Wandy. Someone's got to be like, go actually get the real, is Sevy okay? Is he hurting? Because he doesn't want to come out.
No.
But it's plagued him. He missed a lot of time because of that. As far as his stuff, like we talked about the changeup, he did bump that up. Since the Tommy John, he came back throwing the changeup. Before the Tommy John, it was 16% of the time, and I think just to lefties. And then 2021, the 4 bullpen appearances, and 2022, the changeup is the same as the slider. Which is cool. And he threw it a lot to righties and lefties, I believe. Let me double check on this. So to lefties, the changeup was the bigger pitch. It was 24% of the time. To righties, it was still like a mix. But that was not who he was previously. He was fastball slider to righties and lefties. And that helped him out a ton. I mean, the numbers on his changeup last year were nuts, I believe.
Yeah, pretty good pitch mix from Sevy.
The fastball is where he does most of his damage, but he throws it, the most. He threw it 50% of the time last year.
Right.
Yeah, he thinks that Tommy John helped his changeup, which that's cool.
Yeah, he was really elite in expected batting average, expected slugging. Pretty good baseball savant page if you're into that. I mean, the stuff that's low are exit velo and hard hit, which if you're a power pitcher, that's the stuff that's kind of going to be there. So
the hard hit rate is surprising. It really spiked up for him. If you're looking at 2017 when he was really good, it was 33.5% hard hit rate. 2018 when he was like the best first half of the season and then the worst, he was 34.
What a year that was.
And then you go down to 29 in 19, but that was 3 starts. And it was up to 41 last year. So I don't know if that's a baseball difference, but I don't think it's. I think 2017, 18, it was still exit velo and hard hit rate.
Yeah.
You wonder if that plagues him in the home run, like we have Garrett Cole, like the solo shots, if that starts coming out more. Does he get messed up by the shift? Not really. He's a strikeout pitcher.
Yeah, I don't think so. And his home run numbers last year, if you prorate it to 180, you're looking at 25 or so home runs. So I don't know. For a pitcher, a strikeout pitcher of his ilk, it's kind of par for the course. And again, I don't know. You could spin it in a good way or spin it in a bad way if you want, but talk about readjusting to the league. Like, a lot's changed since 2017, 2018. That he was out there in 2022 doing it, and he he turns 29 on February 20th.
Nice.
So good for you, Sevy.
I'm trying to look at this pitch tempo thing.
Okay.
Baseball Savant has pitch tempo. He had a 16.3 tempo last year. But what does that mean? 40, like he's in the 40th percentile for fast and 4.3 for slow. I'm interested in this, but I don't know what it means. Okay. Oh, wow. You can put, like, they have a clock and you can compare two pitchers.
Who throws quick, who throws slow. Yeah, Sevy works. He's locked in. Can you get us a random vid?
Very odd. Yeah, I can get a random vid. I got to go back. Got stuck on this pitch tempo leaderboard.
It's a good leaderboard.
Oh my goodness. Show random video. Come on now. Oh, we're at Yankee Stadium. No, wait. Yeah. Playing the White Sox.
Okay.
It's a 2-2 count. He went fastball, 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 cutter. Nice. Now it's a 2-2 to Garcia.
Top 6 shutout game was a Sunday Night Baseball.
Fastball down the middle. Is that Florial? Florial tracks it down.
What was that, a Memorial Day hat?
Yeah.
Veterans? Yeah.
So Sunday Night Baseball, 2-2, fly out to end the inning. 98 miles per hour, dead center, said this guy can't hit it. That's easy. That's good.
And that's you forget about stuff. Erica has it in our notes here at his last start, 7 no-hit innings in Arlington.
Oh yeah.
Man, the roller coaster that is a baseball season. So I don't know. What are you measuring Sevy on this year? Innings?
Postseason.
Okay.
So innings in the regular season and starts. But yeah, give me like a postseason start. We have a lot of good memories with Sevy. He's a roarer. He'll roar on the mound, and we love that. But yeah, we don't have, like, even Paxton had that one game.
Yeah.
Where you're like, yay, that one game in the post. You remember that stuff. AJ Burnett in the World Series, everyone rips on him like, hey, yeah, that one game. It really helped.
Yeah, Sevy's best postseason game was the 18 wild card game, and it's still 4 innings. 4 innings shutout, but 4 innings. We had the big roar at the end, but yeah.
So I know we're a ways out, but yeah, you look at his post-game starts, and he's never...
A statistically awesome post-game start.
7 innings pitched, 300 runs, his best start. As far as length and not a lot of runs. And yeah, I guess that's the end of the year thing is give me that start.
I like that. Yeah. No, I think same page. You'd just making up numbers in my head. You'd love to see 25 starts. I think that would be, if anything over that, I'd be pretty happy with in the regular season.
What does Baseball Reference predictions have him at?
So at a 51% reliability.
It's not good.
Flip that coin.
Flip that coin.
Let me see that corn.
Flip that coin. 110 strikeouts.
He is 107 innings pitched, 110 Ks, a 3.45 ERA.
So that's like 20, 21 starts.
I mean, he had 19 starts in 102 innings last year. So
20
would be, yeah.
It's a good guess. Good simple math
Round
by me.
it.
I'm smart.
Round it.
Smart as hell. I'd take that. I mean, I want more innings and stuff, but he's not hurting us when he's out there, doesn't look like.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, these are It's when the robots kick in. That would be his worst ERA since 2016. And yeah, you'd really like to see those innings go up. So I don't love it.
Just don't be hurt all of August.
And
then some of September.
We need an August rebrand.
Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone into the last 3 or 19. He wasn't around in 20, right?
20 was straight up not there.
Yeah, 19. So when he has been available, 19, 21, 22. The last 3 that he's been around for, we've gone in with him getting a handful of games and then the postseason.
I think no more than 3.
If it goes
starts.
4 for 4, that's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jakey Butterknife, nice to meet me. Only 5 starts after July 1st last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give me at least 5 going.
When's the last time we saw second half Sevy? 2017?
2017.
Okay. So that's a huge thing.
He wasn't even born yet.
That's the big thing. It was beardless.
It was beardless.
Give me second half Sevy. That's my ask.
You gonna chant second half Sevy?
Sit him in April.
Second half Sevy.
Second half Sevy.
Second half
Sevy. Over under is?
Hats he has during the year? I don't know. I'd have to check. I don't think I see one.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Starts
Sounds like the over.
21. You're taking the over. Hopeful over?
Over.
Sure, over.
Let's predict Sevy starts this year.
24.
I was going to say that.
I locked it in. I saw that you were going to say it. Now we're both on the same team.
24. Tino, Gary,